Hello, hello, everyone. How are you? It's me, Latar soul care provider and the founder of Color Your Soul, where we are branding souls to soar with lifestyles of soul care. And I am now officially a kingdom driven entrepreneur service provider. What does that mean? It means that I am working with entrepreneurs, life coaches. I love life coaches, entrepreneurs to help you to build your business on with kingdom, not just kingdom standards and principles, but doing it the Jesus way. A lot of people have standards of principles that they carry into their business, but they're not really living it out in their businesses. And so that's what I do now, right? Shifting some things over, you'll see some things coming forward specifically for entrepreneurs and for life coaches. Man, I love life coaches. And I find that many life coaches really don't have a good business perspective. And so that's why so many of them their businesses are not thriving and it's not moving forward because they're really looking at it from a perspective of how coaches are typically trained. And I'm doing something a little bit different. Yay. So I'm super excited about that. I wasn't ready to celebrate yesterday. Today I'm celebrating because yesterday I was stretched. I was stretched. Hello, Deborah. How are you? Let me share this out. And 1 second. All righty. So we have been talking this week about these three bombshells that were dropped on me after I came from the KDE retreat, Team KDE retreat. And I love retreats, by the way. I think they're so cool. That's why I do them. So if you're watching this and you don't mind sharing this out, I would greatly appreciate that. Deborah, thank you. And I want to thank you because I always see you sharing things. And I appreciate you sharing and celebrating what we do with Color Your Soul. Really, really. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So as you hop on, let me know who you are and just tell me what city and state or country you're watching from. So again, we've been talking this week about these bombshells that have to do with perception, choices, and truth, right? So I'm going to read them to you. Make sure you go through and watch the other two. I don't do anything over 15 minutes, so it'll be total of maybe 30 minutes for you to watch those two videos. And also you'll be able to check them out on our YouTube channel. And I'm also going to pop pieces of them over into our Instagram on Instagram TV. So make sure you check us out over on IGTV as well. Okay. So these are the three bombshells. Number one, perception is the enemy outside of the lens of God. Number two, choice determines how our story is told. Number three, our truth outside of God's reality is a big, nasty lie. Our truth outside of God's reality is a big, nasty lie, right? So yesterday I shared with you three things you can do to begin shifting their perspective. And today I'm going to talk about some action steps you can take. Some more action steps you can take and be very specific with them. Hey, Lancia, how are you? Be very specific about what they look like, right? So I call this the D.C.A model, and this D.C.A model is actually in my book, and I don't have the latest copy of my book. This is like the original version. It's like y'all can see, it's like really, it's Faith in Action, the power of using your measure. So you can go look it up, and actually will be on the Latara V. Bussey. Lot was shifted over, but Faith in Action, the power of using your measure, and I will put that in there. And this is a concept that came through writing the book that God gave me, and I think it's a really great concept. I'm just typing in the title of the book, The Power of Using Your Measure. I think I need to read it again myself, so it's a very powerful book. So that is the name of the book. And it's actually about to go to its third edit. So I'm going to have a company I'm going to be utilizing to add a couple more things to it. But in this book, I talk about what's called the D.C.A. model, the D.C.A. model. This book uses the book of Joshua as its premise for writing for the content, right? And it talks about how obedient faith works and what it looks like. And I use the book of Joshua and how you show up with faith in action. And so in here, I have the D.C.A. model, and I thought, wow, this is really perfect for what we're talking about, how to shift these perspectives and how to shift the choices we make that determine our stories, and how to understand our truth versus God's reality and begin living our truth based on God's reality, right? So that it shifts who we are in Him, because our identity in Him is nothing like what the world has identified us as, right? So we want to make sure we're identifying ourselves in Christ. So this D.C.A. model is really going to help you to begin to shift some perspective. So we know we got some mess we dealing with. We know we got some stuff. Listen, just yesterday, I literally cried from about, man, 1 o'clock. So from about 1 o'clock to when I went to sleep last night, somewhere around 12. Then I woke back up around 3:15, and then I cried till about 5 o'clock. I did a lot of journaling. Me and this journal was best friends, right? Because I had some stuff I had to deal with. I had some perceptions to use to deal with. I had some choices to learn how to shift over and make better choices. I had some decisions to make. I had to apply God's wisdom, and that's what this allows you to do. The D.C.A. model helps you to make some decisions, right? To make some solid decisions and go forward with some steps. So the D.C.A. model is simple. It's determine, create, and act. Determine, create, and act. That's the D.C.A. model. And so I'm typing this stuff in because I don't have anybody from my team on here. So I'm going to type it in so you guys see what I'm talking about. And I put the words in the description as well. All right, so that's what we're working on today, the D.C.A. model. And so, excuse me, I don't have any water. So when you're learning how to shift this stuff around, begin to think different, to move different, to breathe, when you're really learning how to grow up emotionally, because really that's what all this is about. It's teaching you how to grow up emotionally, not just manage your emotions, but mature enough to be able to manage them effectively. Okay. So the D is for determine. You want to determine what your issues are. See, I'm not going to tell you to determine somebody else's issues, because growth is about you. Your growth is about you. Your growth is not about what somebody else chooses to do or not to do, right? That's what you've got to begin to understand. A lot of people, the reason why they can't grow up emotionally is because they're too busy looking at what everybody else is doing, and you're not looking at you. And you're not allowing God to speak to your heart, to tell you, hey, you got some issues here. I love you, but I need for you to work on that. That's why I'm here. This is what I'm partnering. I'm partnering with you in your success. I don't want to partner with you in your demise. So let's go on and get this stuff together. So you need to determine what your issues are, what your attitude is, what your behavior is, and what actions it has caused, right? You need to really look at that and go, what does this look like? Why am I in this space? Don't blame anybody else. I want you to hear me clearly. That's not saying that somebody else does not have some part in what's happening with you. That's not saying that. But what I'm saying is that you can't blame them for how you've chosen to show up and what you're perceiving, right? And how you have formulated that into your truth. That's what I'm saying. All right? That is what I'm saying. So you want to determine what's going on with you. What does it look like? What is it causing, right? What is it causing within you and on the outside of you? Because it will show up some kind of way. Listen to me. I had to deal with the fact yesterday that I was not showing up fully. I was like, okay, but God, I thought I was already loud enough. Get louder. Now I'm not talking about vocally. I'm talking about how I come into the environment, how I shift and how I move into atmospheres, what I'm doing. That's what I'm talking about. How I show up and what it is that God has me doing. Right? And so I've got to learn how to do better with it, because I don't show up fully. And when I don't show up fully, I hide. There's a hiding that I do. And I had to really look at this and really look at this. And it really has to do with my family dynamics. And so there's a lot of work I've been doing around that. I thought, wow, okay, I've really healed here, but I haven't. So I had determined some things yesterday. And isn't it mighty funny that I went through some stuff yesterday and then I was like, whoa, wait a minute, here I am teaching this. So the second thing that you want to do is you want to create. What steps do you need to take to see different in your life? What steps do you need to take to see different? What boundaries do you need to place around how you've been showing up? So around yourself, not nobody else. Place the boundaries around you first. What boundaries do you need to put in place so that you are behaving better, making better decisions, using God's wisdom? What do you need to put in place? Do you need to write scripture out every day? Do you need to hire a coach? Do you need to do both? Do you need to go through some sort of program? Do you need to go on do you need to fast and pray? What do you need to do? Do you need to get off Facebook for a little while? For many of us, some of y'all need to do that, right? What do you need to do? You need to create these action steps, right? You need to create accountability markers. How will you be accountable? Who are you going to have hold you accountable? And watch that. Don't have you cannot. Everyone is not allowed to be accountable for you. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's not quite what I want to say, but I'm still real fuzzy from my last 24 hours. But everyone is not able to hold you accountable. So you have to pray and go, okay, who can hold me accountable to this? And make sure, and what do my accountability markers look like? So at this point, in 90 days, where do I want to see myself? In 120 days, where do I want to see myself? Or if I see this action, I know that I'm shifting. What does that look like, right? So you want to determine what your issues are, what your attitude is, what your behavior is, what it's caused, how it's harmed you, how it's harmed the environment around you. You want to determine those things, right? You want to also create steps that you have to take, create boundaries around yourself first, and then yes, around other people, right? Or situations or places or things. You want to make sure, like one boundary might be like, if you know that your mess has caused you to gain unnecessary weight and you're ready to lose weight, then one boundary is don't go to McDonald's. Right? People always ask me, Latara, how have you lost almost 100 pounds? I think I'm like a fourth of a pound away from being at 100 pounds lost. How did you do it? Well, I just determined that it's just some things I can't do. And I stopped doing it. It wasn't about willpower. It was about making a decision and seeking God's wisdom. No, you can't do that. And having accountability markers. My kids, okay, listen, I can't do this, this, and this. I need your help here. Let's not bring this food into the house. Let's do this. Making sure that I had these steps and these boundaries and these accountability markers, right? So you want to determine, you want to create, and then you want to act. Move on what you determined, move on what you created, right? So in the determining part, you also want to make sure to pay attention to how you want to become. Who do you want to be? Who are you fully? What do you want to be? And to me, it's like, I just want to be what God tells me to be. And so, yeah, and that's not just a just either. That's powerful. I want to be that greater than that Jesus talks about. That's what I want to be. And there's a work you're going to have to do around it. And that's what this whole D.C.A. thing is going to help you to do. It is a decision-making power tool to determine, create, and act. Determine, create, and act. So I hope this was beneficial for you guys. I pray that this helped you. Listen to me. I have some things that are on the forefront or on the horizon. One of the things that I'm working on that I'm super excited about is I'm working on the Lifestyle of Soul Care Mentoring Program. And I'm so excited about that. So super excited about the Lifestyle Soul Care Mentoring Program. Working on the landing pages now and the copy. And just super excited. So, and we're also taking registrations for the retreat. So I'll put the links in for all of those things that I'm talking about. Well, Lifestyle of Soul Care is not ready, but you can get on our list, and I'll give you a link for the list so you'll know when it goes live. And it'll be at beta pricing it's a 90-day program. It'll be beta. I like to do everything in beta when I start a program, so that together with your help, we can tweak it and make it just right for the next time around, right? That's what I love to do. I love beta program. And so it'll be at beta pricing. I can tell you right now, it's going to be 175. That I can tell you right now, it'll be 175, and you'll be able to make payments over the 3-month period. It's going to be great. We're going to be bringing in some people to work with us, and it won't just be me doing the teaching and the training. It's going to be video based, with me showing up live a couple of times a month for you to be able to come in. We'll have some mentoring sessions, but for the most part, it'll be video based. So it's not like you have to like show up every day to something. So I'm super excited. I'll share the links to that. I'll share the links to the retreat. We only have 5 spaces left for each retreat. Each retreat only has 5 spaces, and we'll be doing 2. We'll be doing Texas and we'll be doing Oklahoma. And I'll be talking more about the retreats next week. I'll be talking more about the retreats and how you can sign up and why you want to sign up and why you want to be there, right? And then I'll share with you my struggles too. So about the retreat, it's a lot. Yeah. I love sharing testimonies of God's goodness. And a part of those testimonies is sharing your ugly. And so I'm going to have to share my ugly a little bit, right? So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate you. I love you. I will see you Monday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm not sure what the topic's going to be. Don't know. It hasn't come to me yet, but I know it will be good. Thank you so much for joining me. This is LaTara Beniso, care provider, helping you to hold on, I got to shift it. We are branding souls to soar with lifestyles of soul care. I got to get used to that. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.